Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Alrighty, what is up, my artists? We are here for my ranking of the Halloween franchise, ranking them from worst to best, what I think is the absolute worst at the top, and what I think is the absolute best at the bottom. Oh, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a lot of franchises. I plan on doing it on Terminator eventually, and other things like that. I've done the Nut Shack, I've ranked that before, I've ranked fucking music with Devin before, Quedeca mostly, and just all shit like that. We've ranked all the diss tracks and everything. So this is a different type of ranking video. It's a ranking on 13 movies. This is from 1 all the way to ends, including the remakes and Halloween 3. So this is a fucking huge ranking. Devin did his on his channel, so I'm gonna do mine. He should come out on the same day if it goes well. Hopefully it does. Trying at least. But nonetheless, I am ranking the Halloween franchise from worst to best. Without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at number 13, the worst of this list has got to be Rob Zombie's H2, or Halloween 2, Halloween 2 2009, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, whatever you want to fucking call it. I like to call it Rob Zombie's Atrocity. So, this movie is by far the worst in this franchise. Rob Zombie ruined Michael Myers. They were going to make a third one to this, and it got canceled, thankfully. Admittedly, I have only watched this all the way through once, and that was with the live commentary that we did, and I was out of it the entire time. It was that fucking boring. It was that awful. We had already watched 2 other movies that night. It was pure garbage. Like, the kind of garbage you just don't want to fucking see. It's something that shouldn't be watched. It's awful. It's just fucking awful. And Rob Zombie, you are a fucking cunt for making it. Like, I don't understand why you make films like this. Like, you sick individual. Like, especially when it comes to something that is beloved as Halloween. You're really gonna fucking sit there and put this white horse shit in it, and put your wife in it full spotlight, and all this shit. Like, it's not good. It was not good. And the fact that he's still making movies to this day, and they're still awful, and now they're direct-to-video, thank to God, nobody has to stumble across this at a theater. Like, I swear, if somebody had to watch the Munsters Rob Zombie movie in theaters, I genuinely would feel bad for them. Because, for fuck's sake, why the fuck is Rob Zombie still making movies? This movie should prove that he shouldn't make movies at all. This movie is that fucking bad. It sucks. It shouldn't have been in the Halloween franchise, and that's all I gotta say about it, because that's how fucking pissed it makes me. On to the next one. Coming in at number 12, we have Halloween Resurrection. Oh my god. Another movie that I watched on the night that I watched H2. It was the first of the 3 movies that I watched that day. Oh god. Fucking... probably one of the worst things I have seen in a good while. Like, besides Halloween 2, if we're talking about Halloween movies, if I were to see this in a theater, I would have fucking walked out. I actually fucking hate this film. I don't like Busta Rhymes in it. I don't like the fact that they ruined H2O with it. I don't like the fact that they're in a whole fucking reality show setting. I don't like the fact that fucking Busta Rhymes sits there and karate kicks Michael. I don't like the fact that fucking Busta Rhymes kicks fucking Michael's ass, because it pisses me off. There is no point in this entire movie why Busta Rhymes should be anywhere near there should be no timeline where Busta Rhymes is near any character like Michael Myers. I'm sorry. No. That's like if you were to bring fucking Lil Pump and put him in the fucking Friday the 13th franchise. It's no. Oh, it pisses me off. It's not a good film. Like, fuck Busta Rhymes. Fuck the way that they treated Laurie in this movie. This movie made fucking Jamie Lee Curtis not like the Halloween franchise for so long. This movie did that. It just pisses me off. They killed off Laurie in like the first 5 minutes, and they sit there and go with this fucking reality show thing with all these fucking dumbass characters that we don't give a shit about, and then we sit there and get Busta Rhymes, and it's aggravating. It's really fucking aggravating, and I don't enjoy it. I fucking hate it. Like, there's no point to the movie. The movie should not exist. The movie actually should not exist. It's bad. It's bad. It's just bad. That is my opinion. On to the next one. Coming in at number 11, we have the most recent film in the franchise and the newest trilogy, Halloween Ends. Wow, this is a fucking disappointment. I walked out of the theater once the credits rolled. I was pissed during this movie. The only reason that I'm not as annoyed with it as the last two is because, for one, Rob Zombie. For two, Busta Rhymes. Like, those automatically make it worse than this film. But still, this film is still in the top 3 worst because it's not good. Like, it takes what 2018 and what Kills gave us, and it takes it and it kind of just ruins all of it in an entire 2 hours. It's pointless. Like, it's the fact that they sat there and made 2018, which was really fucking good. Then they made Kills, which was decent. It had some parts that I could take out, but whatever, it was still good. And then they sat there and tarnished it by making this fucking thing where it's 4 years later, Michael Myers has been living in the sewers. Now this Corey character is going to be killing people, being possessed by Michael, or what the fuck ever by Michael. And that's how it's going to work. And basically, Michael's going to regenerate. And the fucking final fight is only going to be like a solid 5 to 7 minutes. And Michael's going to die easily. And that's how it's going to end. Like, it was terrible. Like, it actually pissed me off. And fuck you, Jason Blum, because I should have known, with your track record, your fucking track record with your goddamn movies, go fuck yourself, Jason Blum. Like, actually go fuck yourself. I cannot stand you. I honestly cannot stand you, Jason Blum. Because you had something great. You fucking had something great with fucking Halloween 2018, and it was still going good with Halloween Kills, and then you fucked it up. And you fucked it up like you fuck everything up, Jason Blum. And that's, it pisses me off. It really pisses me off. I don't fucking enjoy this film. This film is fucking bad. The only reason I'm going to own this is to complete the collection. That is the only reason I'm going to own this. There would be no owning it if it was in any other circumstance. But for fuck's sake, this movie pissed me off. I saw it in theaters. I saw it in fucking theaters, and it pissed me off so much. This is probably the worst film of 2022. The worst film of 2022 so far. It's bad. It pisses me off. I didn't fucking enjoy it. On to the next one. Coming in at number 10, we have Halloween 5. Oh, Lord, this movie was bad. Like, I would have to say this was like the start of the worst of the franchise, which is saying something, because this franchise has some fucking stinkers to it. Nonetheless, after Halloween 4, we had a good movie with Halloween 4, which we'll get to that later. And then we had this fucking atrocity. This boring, awful masked fucking atrocity that shouldn't exist. It was an awful story. It started the storyline of the Thorn and the fucking cult in this movie, which will go later. We'll go later into fucking in 6, and it's a terrible story. Like, I guess the best part about this movie, is the Loomis character, and that's pretty much it. Loomis is the only person who shines in these like last bits of hope. You know, it's not anything good per se, but it's still like the movie isn't good per se, but like the Loomis stuff is good. But like, it's just not a good film. It's boring. It's honestly irritating. It starts the cult shit. It starts all this bullshit. They put Michael Myers in jail and then immediately break him out. Like, it's not... Like, why? Why do that? Like, there's no reason for most of the shit they do in this movie, and it's just bad. It's just bad in general. But it's not as bad as the last 3, I can say that. That's why it's the 4th worst. And there can be some times where there's shiny moments like with the Loomis stuff, but that's about it. With that being said, next one. Coming in at number 9, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Fuck my life. I hate Rob Zombie. I don't hate this film as much as I do H2, of course, and there's films that I hate more than this film, but this film is still bad. It's still terrible. Rob Zombie's constant use of the word fuck is just ridiculous. Like, it's just fuck. Like, it's not, that's all the dialogue is. Like, this movie is constantly filled with terrible people, terrible actors. Fucking, the kid actor for Michael as a kid is just annoying. He's fucking annoying. He wasn't even in the second movie, that's how annoying he was. Like, oy vey, dude. Fucking Laurie is terrible in this movie. I hate this Laurie. I hate this version of Laurie. I hate this version of Loomis. I hate this version of Michael. I just hate a lot of stuff. I hate Rob Zombie. That's mainly the thing. Like, I just hate Rob Zombie. And it doesn't help that he fucking tarnished a franchise with this bullshit that he put in. And like I said, this movie isn't as bad as H2 or any of the movies I put before this, because it's the 5th worst. But still, it's not anywhere near as good as some of the films I'm going to be talking about later. And that is not saying too much, because the next one involves some topics that I don't really enjoy, but it's still better than this shit. Either way, I'm tired of talking about Rob Zombie. Enough of Rob Zombie. Fuck Rob Zombie. And fuck Rob Zombie's Halloween. Next one. Coming in at number 8, we have Halloween 6 with Paul Rudd and the cult shit and incest plotline, and Fuck, no. Just no. No. I do not enjoy this film, but it's not as bad as the other ones that I put for this, so it is the 6th worst. I will say though, Paul Rudd does a great job in this. Loomis obviously does a great job. That obviously puts it higher up in the you know, area of being in where it's at. And for this being Paul Rudd's first role, that's kind of iconic as well. So that says something a lot about this movie. Besides that, there's really not much I could say about this movie besides, like, I didn't like the incest plotline. Why would that be in a Halloween film? That's fucked. Why would Michael Myers impregnate his fucking niece? That's... no. Like, why? The Mask is at least better than Halloween 5. I can give it that. That's something I can give it. It's not terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible. I would say we're leaning more towards, like, not terrible into the decent territory, especially with the next one. There's not much I could say about this movie besides those points. But yeah, it was kind of the end of the cult storyline too, so that's a godsend, thank God. So, on to the next one. Coming in at number 7, we have Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, the anthology film, the one and only film that doesn't involve Michael Myers. Now, the sad part is, the film that doesn't involve Michael Myers is better than 6 other films that involve Michael Myers, but that's not, like, that's saying a lot, because this is a really good, decent film on its own. Basically, originally, John Carpenter wanted the Halloween franchise to be an anthology series, so there wasn't supposed to be a Halloween 2, but there ended up being a Halloween 2. Halloween 3 was supposed to be the start of the anthology, and audiences didn't like it, even though it was actually a pretty decent film for what it was, about haunted masks. Basically, when somebody puts on the silver shamrock mask and watch the commercial, it turns their head into bugs, and that's the story pretty much, and it turns out to be like robots at the end, and it's an interesting film. It's definitely something that you could watch outside of the Halloween franchise and still enjoy it and everything like that. So it's a really decent film. We're getting into the decent films all the way to the actual, like, good, great stuff, which is good, because I'm tired of talking negative shit about this franchise, because this franchise is good at some points, but it's also really fucking bad at some points. But I really do enjoy Halloween 3, so I'll put it in the middle here. It's like the divider of bad and good, and I feel like that's a good spot for it. That being said, on to the next one. At number 6, we have Halloween Kills from 2021. This movie was good. It was decent for what it was. It builds upon Halloween 2018, and it really sits there and does a good job with the kills and the overall story. Besides a couple things, like the mob stuff is kind of a little preachy, but nonetheless, it's still enjoyable to watch. Definitely more enjoyable than Ends. Not as enjoyable as 2018, but we'll get to that later. I do enjoy this film for what it is. I've seen it a couple times. and every time I've seen it, I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I haven't hated it like some people have. I do think it's pretty decent, especially compared to some films in this franchise. I do say it's probably the most violent I've seen Michael Myers, which is really good. I do enjoy the fact that they brought back a lot of the old characters, and even though they didn't do too much, it did bring back some nostalgia, and it did bring some relevance to the story. I will say I didn't enjoy some of the mob stuff, mainly the stuff about like mistaking the fucking mental patient as Michael Myers. It made no sense. It was just kind of like social commentary to put in there, mainly because Jamie Lee Curtis wanted it, and that's fine, I guess, but it could have been done better in a way than it was. It seems like they just put it in there with all the Michael stuff, and then they just fucking sit there and didn't really focus too much on it after that, which, I mean, it's whatever, but I did enjoy the film for the most part. It's a decent film. I would say that's why it goes to number 6 on my ranking. On to the next one. Alrighty, coming in at number 5, we have Halloween 4. This is the start of the Jamie storyline, which I am not too big of a fan of course, with my rankings of 5 and 6. Either way, this was a great start to it. It had hope and promise to it, but the later sequels kind of drained the promise that it had. Dr. Loomis is great. The Jamie storyline is great at first, of course, until the other movies, and then this was just a great like refresher to the series at the time after Halloween 3 came out, and because not a lot of people enjoyed Halloween 3 because it wasn't a Michael Myers film, but this is a great way to put Michael Myers back in this franchise, and it was a great start to, not a great trilogy obviously, but it was a great start to a trilogy. But it was really good in some aspects, but like it did have some detrimental parts that, like, when it came to the trilogy. But if I'm just watching this on its own, it's definitely number 5 on the list, which is, we're getting close to the top of the list, which is good, and we're getting close to more positive stuff, which we're controller died. We've been a lot more positive as of recent. And that's a good thing going on right now. So, the fuck? Sorry, technical difficulties. Either way, this was a great start to the trilogy, even though it wasn't the greatest trilogy, the Jamie trilogy, and it was a great movie in general, just to watch on its own. I feel a great start to, and a great return of Michael Myers. So a great start, great sequel in general, I would say. Coming in at number 4, we have a surprising one, Halloween 2. I do enjoy this film, but I don't enjoy it as the next 3. This is my top. We're in the top 5 now of what I think are the top 5 best. So 4 was the 5th best, and now we're going down to the 4th best, and I think it's Halloween 2. It's a good sequel, a great sequel to the original. It's a great movie. I just don't think it's as good as the next 3. I do really enjoy the aspect of it being a direct sequel and a direct night, pretty much. And I do enjoy how they brought in the brother and sister aspect of the dynamic between Laurie and Michael. I do enjoy that. I really enjoy just the atmosphere. The final fight's really good, and just stuff like that. It's a really good film. I don't have much to say about it. It's really good overall, especially to end somewhat of a timeline, because there's like 6 or 7 different timelines in this franchise. But this is a really good way to end one of those timelines, just having to be 1 and 2. If you just sit there and just watch 1 and 2 together and ending that timeline, it's a great way to end it, and it's a great like double feature if you ever wanted to watch Halloween 1 and 2 both together, like I've done before, like Devin's done before, and like I feel like everybody's done it at least once, a double feature of 1 and 2. Either way, I suggest anybody see this. It's a good film. It's not my favorite, but it is a really good film. On to the next one. Coming in the top 3, number 3 is Halloween H2O. Really great refresher to the series after the cult storyline, bringing back Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis after 20 years of, or I would say about 18 years of not being in the franchise, because give or take, this is 20 years after the first film, so this is in 1998. But it's 17 years after not working on any Halloween movie. Jamie Lee Curtis is back, and it basically takes place from, it's a Halloween 1 and 2 are the only movies that took place like before this, and that's a good refresher and a good take on the story, because I mean, I don't think anybody would have wanted the cult stuff back in the series again after 6 and 5, to be fair. So it's a really good movie and a really good refresher to the series, and it's a really good comeback and ending for the series. It should have been the ending, but then of course Resurrection had to come out, and they had to fuck Jamie Lee Curtis over, and that's what makes this movie only my 3rd favorite, because it's not the definitive ending. I wish it was the definitive ending. That would have been great for this to be the definitive ending, especially with Michael getting actually killed and being done, being decapitated, and just being gone. It's a lot more of a believable ending and a great ending, but it's a good movie. I put it in the top 3 movies. On to the next one. Alright, on to number 2. Coming in at number 2, we have Halloween 2018. Probably one of the biggest refreshers in the series. I really enjoyed this movie when it came out. It was the first Halloween movie I saw in the theater, because of course I'm only 19, so it was a given. But it was a really good like revival of the Halloween franchise. It's one of the only like couple Blumhouse movies I really put in a high regard. I really enjoy what they did and I enjoyed the brother and sister aspect, but I also enjoyed this aspect of the movie where they didn't have that. I enjoyed the new characters that they added. I enjoyed that they like had a Loomis character in there. I enjoyed the kills were really good. Like it's a really good movie, and it's a really good, well-rounded movie. And there's like nothing, I don't feel there's not much wrong with it. And that's why I hold it in such a high regard. I really enjoy Halloween 2018, and it really gave me hope that this trilogy would have been good. it started out good, and then it was like in the middle, and then it, of course, fucking ends. My thoughts on ends from earlier in the video, but it's still a really good take on the Halloween story, and I really think if they would have done it right, I really wish they would have done it right. But after this, if they would have done it right, they could have struck gold, and I wouldn't be as mad with how the series ended. But I do enjoy this film, and I could pop this in anytime without even watching the other two films and still enjoy it. So as a standalone film, or even just as this and Kills, I really enjoy it, and I put it at my number 2 ranking. On to number 1. As you can see, the only movie left coming in at number 1, we have the original 1978 Halloween. It was kind of easy that I was putting this here, mainly because it's such a classic. It might be, a lot of people say it's toned really slow, that's because it came out in that time. But you don't really need anything, like when it comes to horror, you don't need anything like super in your face and fast and anything like that. That's not what you need when it comes to horror. I really enjoy the original Halloween, and it's still an all-time classic to me. I really enjoyed the atmosphere. The Michael Myers character in this movie is great. The babysitter Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis did a really great job in this movie, as she does in most of these movies. And she was a really good final girl in this movie. The other characters are really good. They were pretty much there just to die, which was fine at the time. That's really all you needed. There's great shots, there's just great visuals, and there's great kills too. It's really good. I really think it's an all-time classic, especially if you're watching it around Halloween. It's definitely something you should watch yearly, or even, like every 6 months or so. Even whenever you could pop it in any time and still have a good time without even watching it around Halloween. That's why I think Halloween 1978 is the best of the franchise by far. Thank you guys for watching this ranking. I really enjoyed making it. Of course, it's not as long as Devin's. I didn't plan on making mine as long, but I do enjoy giving more perspectives of movies and stuff like that. So I do want to do more rankings in the future. I do want to do Terminator at some point, and I might even do some bad franchises, like, who knows. I mean, we're watching the American Pie film and a lot of commentary, so who knows, I might even do the fucking American Pie films ranked. I don't know. Either way, I enjoyed making this video. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great Halloween.